Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome again to another one of our seniors workouts from home. It's a beautiful day here. It's beautiful weather in Ottawa right now. I'd just like to take a moment to remind you all that if you're getting additional exercise in the form of gardening or longer walks, because the weather's nicer, make sure that you don't exclude or stop doing the movements that you need to be doing to strengthen your rotator cuff muscles, your hips, so that means exercises done on one leg, or your back. And the reason I say this is that these are areas that are vulnerable to injury. They're also areas that we experience a lot of our aches and pains in, and you really do need to be continuing a regular exercise regimen that improves those points so that you can go around and do everything else and stay active pain-free. On that note, we're going to go ahead and get started today. Today's session is going to be a little shorter, and it's going to be more focused on limbering you up and make sure you just feel good and feel flexible. So, with that in mind, I'm going to start with some gentle warm-up actions. I'd like it if you could stand with your feet nice and wide set. Take your palms, place them together, stretch the hands out, and then just focus on opening up your wingspan as much as you can possibly open it. Try to pull those arms as far back as you can. Take a deep breath in. And as you release the air, exhale slowly, bring the palms back together, stretch the shoulder blades apart, reach forward with your arms, and then take another deep breath in. Pull the shoulder blades together, open up the wingspan, try to stretch out your chest, your shoulders, your biceps, look up to the ceiling if you can, breathe in, slowly breathe out. Put those palms together, reach forwards. We're going to do that 3 times more, a little faster. For 3, deeply breathing in and out. And in and out. And one more, in and out. Let's do some circles going backwards with our shoulders. We don't need to do many today. You can go at a faster or slower pace than me, and then let's draw some circles going forwards with those shoulders. And then just for fun, I want you to keep letting your right shoulder go forwards, but take your left shoulder and start sending it backwards. And if that isn't fun enough for you, I want you to reverse the movement now. So try to send your left shoulder forwards and your right shoulder backwards. If you don't quite make it perfectly, that's all right, but it's a challenge worth taking. Okay, you can release those shoulders now. I'd like for you to roll your head forward. Tuck your chin into your chest. Roll the head to the left as far as you can. Roll it all the way back to the right and forwards. We're going to do that 2 more times in the same direction. And then once more. When you complete this round, you're going to switch direction and do 3 rotations. Moving in the opposite direction. 2 more. Make sure you're breathing steadily, deeply. Last one. Excellent. Now I'd like for you to tuck your chin into your chest. I'd like for you to let the shoulders droop forward, so we're not thinking about good posture here. We're going to let our spine flex 1 vertebra at a time. We're going to keep our palms on our thighs, pressing against our thighs for support. And you're slowly going to reach down, flexing your spine 1 vertebra at a time, going as low as you can. You can flex the knees as well. And then slowly unfurl yourself, extending the spine 1 vertebra at a time, pulling the shoulders back, taking a deep breath in, and then repeat. Tuck the shoulders forwards, tuck the chin into the chest, and roll your way down. Go as low as you can go. Rise up. Take your time rising up. This should not be done quickly. Pull the shoulders back, turn the palms forwards, rotate the arms as we say externally. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. We'll do that 1 final time. Go as low as we can go. Keeping the knees out, not letting them collapse in. And then rise up. Good. Now we'll do a version of that with a nice straight or neutral spine. So pull your rib cage up, take your belly button, and imagine that you're just tucking it in or taking your low back and pressing it gently backwards. So it's called an abdominal brace. We're We're going to hold that position of our spine. I'd like for you to push your hips back, place your palms on your thighs, and slowly lower as much as you can. We're continuously flexing the knees, but we're not flexing the spine here. So the difference is now our legs and low back are kicking in and doing some work for us. We're going to rise up, we're going to push the hips forward, squeeze the bum. If you can, we're going to rise up onto the balls of our feet, then lower the heels and repeat that twice more, a little faster this time. Each time going a little lower. If you can, raise up. And if you're doing these on your own, make sure not to let those knees collapse inwards. Keep pulling them outwards the whole time. That goes for all squats that we do, whether it's a warm-up or not. You might want to use a chair for the next one. This is going to involve standing on one leg. It's our hip opener. So I would advise standing on your right leg. Let's lift the left leg up as high as you can. Open the leg up. Drop it down. Keep it rotated to the left. Raise it up from that position. Tuck it back in and drop it. That completes one of 5 movements. So we're going to do that again. 2. If you have trouble, and we say it, if you're new to the program, you have trouble doing this full range of motion or getting your knee up this high. 3, rotating the leg that much. We'll do 2 more. You can do less. So you can, this is 4, you can rotate the leg just as much, but lift the knee a little shallower. Or you can rotate it less or lift the knee high. So whatever you're capable of. Push yourself. Now let's switch to the other side of the chair. We're going to do 5 more of exactly the same movement standing on our left leg. So raise the right knee, open the leg, drop it down, lift it back up, tuck it in and drop it down. That's 1 of 5. If you feel yourself heavily leaning on the chair, I would try more and more and more each session whenever you come back to this to lean less, but just keep touching it. Sometimes all you need is that sense of touch to improve the balance. You don't necessarily need it as a structural support. I believe that's 4. Let's do 1 more. And then the last one. If you feel really confident with these, you could keep the chair close by and not even touch it. So I'd like for you to, again, maybe touch the chair, keep it close by. This is a balance exercise, so we're going to stand on our left foot. We're going to point in front of our left foot. We're going to point to the side of our left foot. We're going to point behind our left foot. You might want to reach far out and bend the standing leg, or you might want to keep it really tight and shallow. It's up to you. We're going to do 3 points for every count. We're going to count a multiple of 6. It's from 0 to 60, starting at 0. Touch those 3 points. If you're really unbalanced, 6. Touch the chair. Keep the points small. 12. 18. Try to keep the hip neutral if you can. Don't let it sag. 24. That's about all the talking I'm going to do right now, so I can... 30. Make sure to count the numbers properly for you. It's 36. 42. This hip should start feeling tired right about now. 48. 54. And the last one. 60. Great. You can switch over to the other side of the chair. Now we'll work the right hip. So stand on the right leg. We're going to point with the left foot, starting from 60 and counting backwards. 54. 48. 42. 36. 30, 24, we're getting there, 18, 12, and 6, and we'll go ahead and just count that 0. Great. Let's stay by the chair. Since we're already on this side, I'd like for you to stand on your left leg, so the swinging leg, we're going to swing it forward and backwards, is going to be in between your first support, which is the chair, and the second support, which is your left leg. I'd like for you to swing the leg as far forward and as high up as you can get it, and then swing the leg as far back and as high up as you can get in that direction. It might be shallow, it might be quite a large swing, it's up to you, but we're going to do this at a fairly quick pace. So we're not having to flex the muscle hard to really raise it. We're going to allow momentum to help us out because you can go ahead and swing the leg right now. We won't count to multiple. I'll just hop for a moment. So the reason for the free swing of the leg is because my focus today is on limbering you up, stretching you out. I'm not necessarily trying to make your muscles squeeze hard. I'm not trying to break down your muscle tissue, build up strength, aside from the strength it takes to stand on one leg at a time. It's all about flexibility. And that's about right. So let's go ahead and switch to the other side. We do the same thing. So stand on your right leg and swing the left leg. Just focus on balance. Again, if you feel like you're really leaning into the chair, you feel that you're displacing weight into the chair, you might want to try and pull yourself upright, squeeze the chair a little harder, so you're improving your sense of touch, but you're using the chair less and less as an actual structural support. The same goes for all of your single leg or balancing exercises where you're using the chair. And that can be something that you improve progressively as you go along. Excellent, though. That's all you need to do for the leg swings. I'd like for you to grab a rubber band now and hold both loose ends in your hands right at the very end because you're going to want as much of this rubber band as you can get. I would stand on the band with one foot, and if your band is a little shorter than mine, you can just hold on to it with one hand and do it with one hand at a time, but it's a little more efficient if we do it with both at the same time. So we're standing on the band with either foot, we're going to tuck our elbows in, we're going to do two actions. We're going to flex our elbow, so we're utilizing our biceps here, and as we raise the hands, we're going to open them up and separate them at the same time. So it's a biceps flex as well as an external rotation. So we're working biceps and rotator cuff muscles. We're going to count this in a multiple of 7, starting from 0, taking your time on the drop. 7, you can raise the hands as fast as you want. 14, 21, take your time on the drop. 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, and 70. We're not going to finish here. We're going to count backwards from 70, 63, 56. Notice how I keep my elbows tight, close to my body. 49, 42, 35, 28, 21, 14, 7, and 0. Good work. If you made it through all those, let's just take that rubber band and put it aside for now. You might again want to use your chair for some balance on this one. I'm not going to use it to present to you. We're going to do some heel raises, and then as we drop the heel, we're going to do a toe raise. It should really be ball of the foot and toe. This is why I suggest touching the chair, because it's going to prevent you from falling backwards. You might want to do it with the chair in front of you. So we're going to count this in a multiple of, let's make it to 8, starting with a heel raise for 0, and then lift the ball and toes of your feet up. 8, 16, not an easy one for balance, let me tell you that. 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, and 80. Don't stop at 80. We're going to count backwards now. 72, 64, 56, 48, 40, 32, 24, 16, 8, and 0. Now let's stretch those calves and those feet. I'm going to show you, I'm going to do the stretch utilizing the chair to demonstrate. However, you should use a wall because your chair is going to move. You need something heavy and stationary. So I'm going to imagine this is the wall, my chair leg. I'm going to place the ball of my foot, not the toes, the ball of the foot onto the chair. I want to straighten this leg. And then once I've got that position, I'm going to push my hips forwards. So we're going to take 5 or 6 deep, slow breaths in, holding this position. For 1, deeply in. And always on your stretches, you're going to breathe out slowly. 2, 3, if you feel like you can push the hips further forwards, then you can go ahead and do that, get a deeper stretch. Final breath. And release. Good. Wiggle that foot a few times. Do some circles in one direction. Do some circles in the other direction. And then switch sides. So I'm going to put the ball of my next foot up onto the chair. In your case, it should be a wall. Straighten the leg, push your hips forwards. We'll start with our deep breaths in and out. You should feel that stretch behind your leg, either below or above the knee or in both places. Let's take a 3rd breath in. Always breathing out slowly. 4th breath in. And always when you're breathing out, that's a good time to go a little deeper into the stretch, not when you're breathing in. We'll take our final breath in and out. All of our standing work is done. You can go ahead and sit on the chair, take a break, relax for a moment. So what I'd like for you to do next is to take your right hand and lean over as far as you can to the right, as though we're trying to touch the floor. You don't actually have to touch the floor. If you can, great, that's very impressive. But it's not necessary. What I would advise is that you open up your knees and your feet so that you've got a wider base to support this movement. We're going to alternate from right to left, and we're going to do that in a multiple of 9, starting from 0, go as low as you can, and I'm not going to do it quickly, I'm going to take my time. 9. Breathing in on the way to neutral position, out on the way down. 18, 27, 36, 45, hope you're counting along with me, 54, 63, 72, 81, 90. Now I'd like for you to take your palms, just interlace them together and stretch those arms out like this. If you have trouble rotating through the waist, just swing your arms. If you have trouble swinging your arms, just rotate through the waist. If you can do both, rotate through the waist and swing the arms. We're going to be bouncing from right to left for a count of 8 at a time. 2, 3, 4. Let your head go along with you. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll do that once more. 1, 2. If you want to go a little faster or slower than me, then you can go ahead and do that. 4, 5, 6. It's almost like I'm swinging a baseball bat. 7, and 8. Now we're going to switch to a double bounce on our right like this. 1, 2. Double but light bounce. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got one more 8 count to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Great. Go ahead, shake those shoulders out. We're going to do a hamstring stretch now. It's been a few sessions since I've done this. Don't you worry. I'll also make sure to get your favorite glute stretch in. So sit closer to the edge of your chair. It's going to make you a little bit more comfortable. I'd like for you to tuck one foot in and then extend the other foot out. Preferably, I'd like it if you could straighten the leg in its entirety, although if you can't, that's all right. I want you to pull up your posture so you have excellent posture. Your spine's in a neutral position, you're not shrugging. All together, we're going to reach forward like this, as far as we can get. For a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to breathe in one deep breath, and then come back and breathe out. One more note, please take your toe, tuck it in towards your knees, so you're involving the calves as well into this stretch. So it's hamstrings and calves. It's actually a little bit for your low back as well, for gluteus maximus. So here we go. We're going to reach forwards for 1, 2, breathe in, 3, 4, and then come back. We're going to do that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. You should be feeling it in this chain. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And out. And our final one, we're going to hold the position at the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now rest your left elbow on your left thigh. Hold the position. You can take your right hand and slide it down your right leg, or whatever leg is extended. You'll notice I still haven't let my posture go because I'm not trying to flex my spine. I'm trying to keep it nice and straight, so I'm stretching everything below the hips. Otherwise, if I'm letting my spine flex, I'm not actually increasing the stretch. There's no point. And I'd like to do as much as I can to have you think about your posture at the same time. Okay, you can release that stretch. Oh, I'm sure a lot of you are quite relieved. Let's tuck the right foot in, extend the left foot out, or whatever, reverse the position of whatever you began with. We're going to reach forwards and count to 1. Deeply breathing in. 2, 3, 4, and slowly come back. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, and slowly come back. You might have one leg that's tighter than the other. It's important to keep that in mind. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you're stretching on your own, and if you're doing static stretches, by the way, on your own, come back. We'll do the 4th one. We're going to hold this one. If you're doing static stretches on your own, that's a stretch that you hold. I'll continue that in a moment. Just rest your elbow on your right thigh first. Keep the toe tucked in, and just take some deep breaths in while I discuss. If you're doing a stretch like this where we're holding, you should be warm first before you do it. So this is not the kind of stretching you do before you do an exercise session. It's the kind of thing that you do afterwards when you're already warm, or after you come back to the house after a long walk. Your muscles are ready to be stretched in this fashion. And it'll work against you too when you're actually trying to work out if you do deep stretching like this beforehand. All right, so you can come out of that stretch. We're going to do one more. This is for your glutes. You may or may not want or need to have something like a step stool or a low chair out in front of you. I'll show you 2 versions of the stretch. Version number 1, this is the full version. I'm going to take my right ankle, I'm going to cross it over my left thigh. I'm going to try and hold my posture upright. I'm not trying to shrug my spine forwards again. I'm going to hold onto my shin or my knee or my other knee, wherever you feel most comfortable. And then if I don't already have a deep stretch in my hip, right at the joint, then I can lean forwards a little bit more. If you already have tension in that hip, then just hold the stretch. Now, for those of you that can't do this, that's impossible, and that's quite a lot of you. Lots of people can't do that. So what I'd get you to do is to put your foot up on something that's lower than your opposite thighs. In this case, a step stool is a great idea. And I'm just going to open up that thigh, my right leg, that's externally rotating the leg. And that might be enough of a stretch for you. If it's not, then you can rest your elbow on your left thigh and lean forwards. The leg that is rotated, in this case it's my right leg, you should feel the stretch in your hip. So what I'm targeting is your gluteus medius. This is responsible for so much back pain. And if it's weak, it's also responsible for so much knee pain. It's a really good one to attend to on a regular basis. Let's just take 3 deep breaths in slowly and exhale. And if you can or need to go deeper, Do so as you breathe out. One more. Okay, good. You can release that leg. Let's bring the other one up. Get ourselves set. Pull your spine back up again. And lean forwards if you need the additional stretch. We're going to take 3 more slow deep breaths in and slow breaths out, starting at 1. 2. I'm doing this count extra slowly on this side because I spent more time talking while we were stretching the other leg, and then 1 more deep breath in. So I'm just trying to keep everything even for you. And then you can release. We're not going to do any balance or coordination exercises to finish today's session. As I said, I just wanted it to be a nice limber up. If you're feeling worn out on any of the other days, you can come back to this session instead of doing the session with me that I'm posting from day to day. You can always go back and do any of the sessions that you feel you got more benefit from. But this is a particularly good one to do, as I said, on a day when you're feeling tired or achy or worn out. I'm looking forward to training you all again in a few days' time. Until then, make sure to stay safe, stay active, and stay healthy.